If you want to set restrictions and things like that, you have to go into the settings. So if you open up the settings app, and once again, you go to General. So when you're in General, scroll right to the bottom, and when you see the word accessibility, we go into there. You'll see guided access is a bit further down, okay? I'm going to click on guided access now so that you can sort of see what it looks like, which is pretty boring. It's either off or on. If I turn it on, it's going to ask you to put in a password, because if you really want the kids not to be able to get out of a program, you have to have a password. So I'm going to click on set the passcode, and just so I can remember it, because I'm old and I forget things pretty quick, I'm going to make my passcode 1234. It'll ask you to put it in a second time, and so now I've set guided access, okay? Now if I then want to have the kids only work in, say, paper, I then go to paper and I start paper off, and at this point I triple click that home button. I go 1, 2, 3 as quick as I can, and it does this. It sucks back paper and it gives me this other part of the screen, and then I'm going to click on the word start, and we're now in guided access. So it says guided access started, so I'll turn the page, I'll start a new drawing off, I'll start to draw, do all the things I need to do, and now the teacher walks away, or you walk away, and so the kid thinks, oh, I'm going to get out of this program and play a game, so they click the button and it says guided access is enabled. Triple click the home button to exit. So the kid's smart and he says, okay, 1, 2, 3, but he needs a password, so he can't get out. Because I want to get out of it, I put in the password. So when I'm in the password, then if I want to finish guided access, I press end, and now it's back to just being guided access ended. So now I can press the home button and I quit the program. But while you're in guided access, and obviously from now on, whenever I want to go into another program, so I might start another program up like Enigma, because we're going to play with that later today, and I'm going to do the triple click again, 1, 2, 3, and this time I'll just show you that other thing. Say in this Enigma program, I don't want the kids to ever get into the settings. So what I can do is I can just get my finger and draw a little circle around settings, and it basically puts a hidden button over the settings. So when I turn on guided access, I can click on the help button, I can click on the history button, I can click on the favorites button, but there's no way I can click on the settings button because it's sort of hidden away. So you can actually stop them getting into certain parts of the program too if you really want to. Because I want to get out of it, I put in the password. Then if I want to finish guided access, I press end, and now it's back to just being guided access ended. So now I can press the home button and I quit the program. If you want to set restrictions and things like that, you have to go into the settings. So if I go into the settings, okay, I'm back in the settings, and because I was last in this thing, it's still in there. So I've got to, whenever you see a button here, you've got to click on that to get backwards. And so now we're back in the general settings again. Somewhere in the general settings is the word restrictions. Then what you can do is click on the thing that says enable restrictions. If you want to enable restrictions, you've got to have a passcode so that you're the only one who knows how to turn them off again. And so if I don't want the kids to ever play with the camera, which I think would be a big shame, but in some schools they turn this off, so I could just turn the camera off. If I don't want them to go onto the internet, I turn off Safari, and then obviously I can come back at any time and turn it on when I want to. But if for this next group of kids that are coming, I want to make sure they don't go on the internet, I can turn off Safari. And then if you go further down through the restrictions, films, it allows all films, so I might say no, I only want films that are PG and below. So you can actually set all of these restrictions. So you can decide what things are allowed on your iPad and so on, okay? And this is one that had a bit of coverage in the media recently because some kids have, because the parents are pretty slack with their passwords, the kids, while they've been wanting to do things in apps, and they go for those in-app purchases, and one kid in England racked up a $2,500 bill sort of thing. So you might say, no, they've got to have a password to actually go in-app purchases, or they're not allowed to do in-app purchases. You might take it off altogether. And you just keep going through, and there's all these things that you can set. For me, I'm just going to disable restrictions. And once again, because I'm changing the settings, it's going to ask me to put in that password, which I just did. So for my machine, there's no restrictions. But like I said, for yours, if you enable them, put in a password and work out which things you want the kids not to be able to do and restrict those settings.